Okay. Hey guys, what's up? It's Miko, and we are back here for another year at UG Youth, coming to you in 2021. And this week for our social experiment, we are talking about addiction and looking back on 2020. So we brought in a few of you to talk about their feelings and your thoughts about on this topic. But what they don't know is that it's going to get a little bit chilly. That's a wrap.
Hello. It feels normal, but my toes are stinging for an odd reason.
Feels great since I filled it up with warm water.
I'm still cold.
Frustration, because when I think about the school, this, like, my first semester? Yeah, this is the first semester. Yeah, first semester, stressful. A lot of things happened, stressful. Just everything overall was pretty stressful.
Frustration because I'm big into traveling and we couldn't really do that. And if we did travel, the weather was pretty awful. So it was just an overall frustrating year.
I'm going to say peaceful because of the times we got to stay at home. But then also frustrating because of the times that the school closed down and sports got ruined. So, yeah. I personally think that it mentally drained a lot of people of the times that they couldn't see their friends or family, so they got mentally drained by emotions and stuff.
I would agree with that. I feel like our generation is very social, to say the least. And at the same time, I kind of feel like it made it worse because now that we're mostly relying on social media to connect with our friends, and we kind of lost that human interaction last year, which really sucked.
It just brought a lot of people down, to be honest. That's all I can really say.
Inconvenient for sure, just because we're still in this mindset that we need to stay home and that this whole thing is a big deal. Which don't get me wrong, it is a big deal, but it's just inconvenient because we've gone through almost a whole year of having to stay home, having to wear masks, and me personally, I'm ready to move on. Yeah.
I would say interruption because of how many times COVID has interrupted our lives in many different ways. Like interrupting our social life, our school life, our family life. Like some families can't hang out with each other during the holidays because of COVID interrupted that. So, yeah.
I'd say interruption too, because like everything did get in the way of just enjoyment overall, and like moving forward, it's like I don't really see a big change happening. So it's kind of like, it's like whenever I knew New Year's came, it's like, oh, 2021 is like, it doesn't feel like special because like everything's gonna be the same, I guess. Honestly, the first things that do come to my mind is like alcohol and drugs, because it's like the main thing, I guess.
When I hear the word addiction, I kind of hear like a way out, because I know a lot of people who get into these drugs and alcohol, they do it for a specific reason. Maybe they're depressed, maybe something big happened in their lives, and so they're just trying to find this gateway out of life, and they turn to that, which is really sad because it's not good for them. And as we can see, it can ruin lives more than their life is already ruined.
When I hear addiction, my mind goes straight to drugs. But yeah, same thing that they said. I don't really know what else to say. There's not much that comes up when I hear addiction. You can't be talking.
I'm just saying.
But like, I guess addiction to phones, I guess, and not being able to see that there's a bigger world outside of a screen. So, yeah.
I suffer from this problem, but like having to get out and be active, especially during the quarantine, like people were pretty lazy. They didn't want to really get out there. They just wanted to sit on their couch, watch TV, which I did a lot. And so I guess you can call laziness an addiction, at least in my book.
What I was thinking was how a person can be grown up, raised. Yeah. How a person can be raised. Yeah, I think that could be a pretty big impact. Because if like they see people around them doing this and this, then like they can start doing that, or it can, because of what happened, they, like he said, they see it as a way out. So then they fall into all these bad things, I guess.
I could also say peer pressure. Like someone will be like, I mean, hey, all the cool kids are doing it, so why won't you do it? And they'll fall into that. Another one is maybe they were born with it, because there are some moms that will take drugs and the babies are born addicted to it, which is really sad. So there's just so many ways that someone can get addicted to these things, which is just unfortunate.
I think some people think that addiction is also a way to like have fun, like in a drug way or an alcohol way. So they'll go out like and partying and stuff and do their addictions. I don't know how to explain it, but it makes sense in my mind.
All right, guys, brace yourself. We're about to add some ice into your water.
You're awful. Dude, it got so cold.
I'm freezing, obviously.
I feel like Jack at the end of the Titanic.
It's weird because I'm in the water and it's cold, but if I lift my foot out, it gets colder. So it's like getting warm now. In a way.
I could say maybe a work addiction. Maybe they're too caught up in their work. Maybe they feel like they're not financially where they want to be, and so they feel like the only way that they can do that is to work and work harder, and they don't realize that it kind of takes away from their family, and so in the end they're kind of hurting themselves instead of helping themselves.
I guess something that you could see is how, and the opposite of always working, how like they could possibly be lazy. And so whenever you see them just like not really doing much, it kind of like doesn't give yourself some motivation, because like no one else around you's like really doing anything. And so whenever I go to my mom's, I can see that a lot. Like the reason like I don't like to be there as much is because I see like they're all old and like they can like they have responsibilities that they need to do, and not everyone can do those. So it's like when I'm there, it's like an environment I don't like to be in, especially when I'm like during the week, because when I'm there, it's like I feel like I'm not gonna get work done because that energy is like coming to me, and it's not like making me want to do work, I guess.
Laziness, yeah, because just seeing people sleep all day makes me want to sleep. Like the energy rubs off on you. If someone's really hyper and like wanting to party and stuff, the energy's gonna rub off on you. You're like, yeah, let's get hype. I don't know what to say that they haven't said. You guys are putting me in an awkward spot.
You can? Well, one thing that a lot of my friends do is they'll complain to me about how, they have this and this, but yet they're procrastinating. And I'll tell them like, okay, well, like, do it, you know? But they don't, and they just complain. But it can get kind of like something I don't want to hear, because if you're going to complain, then you need to do something to fix it. But
Put in effort.
yeah, put in effort.
Well, there was this one, he had an addiction to drugs, I want to say, but I don't want to really speak for him. But it was really sad because he once came to school and he had a little bit, he overdosed on something, and so he kind of passed out in the middle of the classroom. It was really, really sad to see because he was such a cool guy. So I think he's better though, which is good to hear. Or glad to hear.
Yeah, procrastination's a good one. Like, I know a lot of people who will complain, like, I have so much homework, and yet they lay in bed and just watch YouTube or watch Netflix and wait until like 3 in the morning to do
Grabbing
it.
your own life?
No.
Yes, you are.
But yeah, I feel like if you were to do your homework as soon as you get home, you have a lot of extra time. But at the same time, I feel like we shouldn't get homework because we have 8 hours of school, and yet we go home with more for more hours. Like 8 hours out of 12 hours of the sunlight. That's like 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's like 3 hours of sunlight that we get.
You eat your fingers?
Yeah. Sleeping a lot. Like, I'll lay down for 2 seconds and I'll fall asleep.
She'll sleep her life away.
And then procrastinating too. Like, I'll find any excuse to not do my stuff that I have to do. And then, especially with quarantine, like, it just gave us so much time. Like, I'll do it later. We still have time. But then there's no time.
I know for sure I was huge into the social media thing during quarantine just because what else are you going to do besides watch TV, play video games? Eventually that gets boring. And, that was basically the only way to really socialize during that time. And so that kind of really further advanced that addiction. But it was one of those where I'd be looking at my phone like every 2 seconds to see if someone had said something type thing. It was bad. And so I deleted Snapchat, which is great. So we'll see how long that goes. No, I deleted it the 30th. It's a New Year's resolution.
So we're going strong. How many days?
3?
Good job.
No regrets.
I'd say my phone. Yeah, I've been on it like a lot recently. And I think I was always on it a lot, to be honest, but not as much as now. I do find myself being on it a lot, and I'll tell myself, okay, like, just put it to the side, but then I'll tell myself that, and then I'll realize that I'm still looking at it, and I just, like, get lost in my own world. It stops me from doing other things that I know I want to do, but it's, like, the easiest entertainment, I guess, because, like, I would want to go play basketball, or go to the gym, or there's even been times where I wanted to read a book, but it's literally been my phone that's just been, like, stopping me from doing that because I'm just on it on my bed, and it's, like, the easiest thing to do. And,
I don't want to go first.
I'm Nathan, and I like to annoy Monica.
I'm Jocelyn, and I love basketball.
I'm Giselle, and I like to eat food and sleep.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation and this video. We had so much fun making it for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and press the notification button, and we'll see you next week.
My hamstrings are numb.
What ice? There is no ice. Jeez.
No, you're not.